Hello everyone and welcome to episode 143 of the 10-minute modeling challenge, and this week we're going to be doing something very big. We're going to be modeling a sci-fi landing platform, whatever that is, and we're going to put it inside Unreal Engine 5.5. I'm going to put some weather effects on it, and maybe we'll look at it in the nighttime, in the evening, in the day, and see what it looks like. I think it's going to be big. I think it's going to be epic. And you know what? You don't want to miss this one. So let's get right into the modeling, and then we'll import it. After 10 minutes, I'm going to import it into Unreal Engine. We'll see what it looks like. And then, in my normal fashion, I'll have to rescue it and see how much effort does it take from there on to look a little bit better. So, because the 10 minutes usually isn't quite enough these days. But we'll do sort of low poly, but the atmospheric effects, I think, will bring it to life. That's it. 10 minutes on the clock. Let's get started. Ready, steady, go. I'm off. Yep, it is ticking. I have to double check that it's ticking. So I'm in here. I'm going to do Shift A. No, actually, I'm just going to bring this down. I'll keep the default queue. I'll squash it a bit. Shift D to duplicate this thing. I'm going to do the platform thing. And I'll just do right click, subdivide, and go into edit and do circle and bring it up X. And then we'll do just limited dissolve. And up here somewhere is going to be something cylindrical. So I'll just have it prepared there. Now I'm going to put tab out of edit mode, Shift A, and we'll just put an empty here with plain axis. And then I'm going to take this one, Shift A to duplicate this. We're going to pick some big legs here. So bring it up to here, all the way out here, maybe something like this. Here? I don't know. E to extrude. And then L to select the link, P, separate that selection, and then go into the modifiers here, add modifier, generate array. We'll take this at relative offset off. I'm recording you. I always have to check that because I'm petrified. Object offset, and then empty, and then pick the empty, rotate Z 60 degrees. We'll do it like a hexagon 6 times, so it'll be gamey. And then I have to do 6 counts as well. So there's going to be our thing. So this is going to be the base of the platform. I don't really know like what it's going to look like yet, but let's put some big feet here. So I'm going to do Control R, loop cut along this way, apparently. I'll select the link, scale on the x-axis. Let's alt select this. I just want some like interesting looking shape. So let's pull this one out. It's going to be big feet here at the bottom. And then, I don't know, just some details now. E to extrude, S to scale. And here, Control R, loop cut this thing. Shift E to duplicate this, put something here. E to extrude. I'm not going to, like, it doesn't really matter what it looks like because it's going to be from a distance here. So, like, remember what we say, everything, if it looks good from a distance, it's good enough for me. E to extrude, S to scale, let's bring that in, E to extrude, and E to extrude, and then here I'll just move this one in. This is looking too boring, so maybe we'll put some big toes on this thing. So here, actually I should probably extrude these a little bit, get a little bit more detail at the bottom here. So I'll do I to inset, Alt E to extrude long face normals. Okay, that didn't work for some reason. How come that? Okay, I've done something stupid here. Okay, there was an extra face there. Haha, delete. There we go. Troubleshooting, fixing it on the fly here. I to inset again for individual, Alt E to extrude long face normals. And I hate that, so I'm not going to use it. I'm going to do just Shift E to duplicate it, scale it down, and E to extrude. And Control B to bevel this thing. And then I'll do it individually here. Shift E to duplicate that one. It doesn't matter if it's not perfect. Control B, and then Shift E to duplicate that thing, bring it down, because these have like adjusted or something. And then comma, I'm going to do normal instead, because then I can control these things on their normal. That's it. How many? Like set 3 minutes. I just created some stupid legs here. Shift E to duplicate this thing. And then I'm going to do some S to scale them, and S to scale on the x-axis. Bring it into there. E to extrude. I need more details. I need a lot more detail. So Alt E to extrude long face normals. And then here, I think I'll just do these things down here like they're holding something. E to extrude, S to scale on the x-axis. Bring it down to there. And then we'll put like some big bolt through here too. I think that'll be good. And Control R, loop cut that one. Bring this one in. Bring it into here. And that's it. And then now Shift E to duplicate that one, right click, subdivide, circle, scale it down, X, limited dissolve, get rid of those things. And then move this one into here, E to extrude it all the way there, L to select the link, and move it up into here. So that's going to be like some big, I don't know, hinge thing. So that's it. Scale. Okay, I'm going to press comma and go into global again and move this one into there. And then Here, Shift E to duplicate this one, scale it, scale on the X-axis, bring it down to here, E to extrude, move it in a bit, and scale on the X-axis and E to extrude. Now I'm going to do the center thing, so I'll just see what, like, how this comes up here. Shift E to duplicate this one. Actually, do you know what? I'm going to rotate this one. Rotate Z 22.5 degrees, so I get the flat surfaces towards the side. And then I'll have to scale this thing up a lot. There we go. Bring it up to here, and then E to extrude, S to scale, E to extrude, S to scale, and then just a big column here in the center, up to here. I'm gonna have it like towering up towards the sky quite a lot, so maybe here. Then E to extrude, S to scale, E to extrude, S to scale, and then here, E to extrude, S to scale, and E to extrude. Here up, I'm gonna put a Shift E to duplicate this one, and I'll scale it out. Put a big platform up here. Actually, I'll bevel this too, because we need a bit of detail. I'm going to put some emission light effects up here too. So there we go. Control B to bevel this thing. And then I think I'll put light under here too, in case I run out of time. At least I've got that done already. So Alt select on this edge there, so I get those. Alt E to extrude long face normals and go up a little bit. And then we'll already put some emission on this thing there. Up here, I'm going to do the platform. I think I'm going to do another array modifier here. So let's bring it to the side there. Shift E to duplicate this one. And here I'm going to do L select the linked, or no, I don't need to. P, so separate that selection. And then Shift A. Okay, tab out of edit mode, Shift A. And then do empty plane axis. And then that's our empty 2. That's good because I'm going to rotate this one with 8 times. So I add and generate mod. Okay, I need that one selected. Add modifier. And add array modifier. We've got some visitors, I think, in the kitchen, but I'll try to ignore that. And then we've got relative offset off. Something's fell down out there, I think. And then object offset, bring empty, and then here we go. Let's see which one am I doing. I need to pick empty do. Yep, empty do. And then rotate this thing. Rotate Z 45 degrees. Yeah, that's it. And then we need to do 8 of these. So where's the thing? I need to select this one again and then put 8. And here, let's just put some more details now. This is just so I can model these a little bit more individually and save a little bit of time here. Oh, okay. What happened then? Change the preview material. Scale, Z, bring it down to there. E to extrude, I'll select the links, S to scale. And then here, let's put some details on here now. So bring this one up a little bit higher, Shift E to duplicate this one, E to extrude to there, and Shift E to duplicate this one, scale it down, move it into there, E to extrude, and then here, just S to scale on the X-axis, and here I'll just do E to extrude, scale on the X-axis, and bring this one down. Don't know what this is, like some sort of a docking station thing. So let's put like a circle in the middle here too, and E to extrude, S to scale. I don't think we're going to see this too much because we're going to be underneath, but I'll put some details here anyway. So I to inset, I again, because we don't want individual, and then scale on the X-axis, I to inset again, and bring it down a little bit to there. Put some emission up here too. And again, I don't think we'll see this because we're going to be watching this from the ground, looking up at these things. And then I need, okay, it's only 2 minutes to go, so I need more details. First of all, we need to link this leg up to there. Shift E to duplicate this one, scale on the Y-axis, and then E to extrude. I'm going to bring Shift E to duplicate it, narrow it down, E to extrude, bring it all the way up to here. And then here I'm going to put some more details on these sides. Shift E to duplicate, and then bring it into here, E to extrude, and Control R, loop cut these. E to extrude, S to scale on the Z-axis. Don't really know what I'm doing here, but that's okay. I'll loop cut this one a few times. E to extrude, and bring these down. Just need details up here. Details. That's it. And then here, probably this center. Shift E to duplicate it, scale it, bring it in, and bring it up, and E to extrude. L select the linked, scale on the Y-axis. And are you finding what you need in the kitchen? You're not. God, you're making a ton of sounds. Okay, Control B. That's okay. Yeah, that's okay. It's okay. I could do with some distraction sometimes because if it turns out bad, I got someone to blame. Thank you. All right, let's see. We've got 1 minute to go, so that's only one light. That's not enough lights up here. So I need to do Shift E to duplicate. I need more details, so E to extrude, Control B here. I need to put, let's put some weird, here we go, Control B to duplicate that on. Oh, these feet are too small now, see? It's a good thing I looked at this, because I need to enlarge these things. These are too small. Scale, there we go. I think that's better. And then Control B on this thing, and then here, I don't know, I'll up to, I only got 27 seconds to go now, so what should we do? I think some more lights on these things, I think. Here, I to inset, scale, okay. Period, and now the microwave is coming on too for some reason. Alt-E, extrude longer face normals, G, and there's some more emission, and I need to switch on emission. You can't really actually even see that one, because they've changed it in Blender. So let's go. Yep, that's it. Okay, so that's our finished platform model. It's got some sort of a weird leg thing. I haven't really colorized it much. And I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to bring this into Unreal Engine, and we can see what it looks like. And then I'll go back into Blender, and then we'll see if we can modify, because I think I'll need to do some colorization and put a little bit more detail on it. So after 10 minutes, this is what it looked like. All right, so let's save this thing and then bring it into, I'll have to connect these things into, let's see, can I export these combined somehow? If I shift click this, Shift D to duplicate it, and Control I to invert it, hide the other stuff, and then I'm just going to combine these things. So I'll do add modify, or no, we'll apply this one, Control A, and then on this thing, Control A, and then all of it, and Control J to join this, and then we've got, this is our platform, SCI-FI platform, we'll call it. And now I'll go File, Export, FBX, and then selected objects, and for Unreal Engine, the only thing we really need to do is change the smoothing to faces, and then I'll just put it on the desktop, and then we'll call it SCI-FI Landing Platform, or SCI-FI Platform, and export. And now let's start up Unreal Engine. All right, so here's my test scene that I've put together with some snow and stuff, and then we'll drag my FBX file in. If I put it on my desktop somewhere, there we go, SCI-FI Platform, drag it into here, and we don't want to include materials, and then everything else should be fine, I think. I don't need to worry about nanite or anything, so just import this thing, and no, I don't want to overwrite anything. Didn't I say not to import it? Oh, I still said I was going to import some textures, but never mind. All right, so this one's in here now. I'm just going to drag it in, and we've got, okay, this is the wrong material on it. So select, double click on it, and then pick my real pixel palette texture that's actually created inside of Unreal Engine here. Apply this one, and now move it into, wait, actually, should I put it over here somewhere? See, here's a little space for it. You can just put it here. All these trees here. There we go. Oh, size is pretty good, actually. So let's just put it there. All right, now we need to see. It looks like a pylon of some sort, so I think I need to put some more detail on it. Some more lights and some wires and big thick hoses and maybe some cargo to containers and stuff. Maybe if I do F11, we can see a little bit on G to get rid of the grid lines. So here we go. Yeah, it looks too, like all of these surfaces are too big and flat, and I think I'll do it metallic instead too. And obviously it's not collecting any snow now, but I'll just leave it like that for now. But we'll go back into Unreal, well, we're in Unreal Engine now. So I'm gonna go back into Blender, and then we'll have a look. So start Blender up, and this one's first attempt, so first, we'll call this one, and then we'll enable the other ones again, and then start to modify these. So a few things I wanna do here now. First of all, I just don't want this one just to hang here, so we'll do E to extrude, S to scale, and then maybe we'll do, I think on these, I think I've got the one with the 8 up here, so I'm gonna grab whatever this one is. Tab into edit mode. Here, this is the one. So here we'll do Shift E to duplicate this one, bring it all the way down to here. So then I can get some more details in here maybe. And then E to extrude, Alt select the link, scale Z axis, and just bring it out, keep bringing it out to here, like some extra supports or something. And these are actually operating on the 8s now instead. So I think I'll just have to do like this instead. And E to extrude, S to scale, Shift E to duplicate the scale on the Z-axis E2, because this is like a hexagon out here, so I'll have to do it a little bit differently, otherwise it won't match up. All right, and on the inside, let's change all of the materials now. Like all of this stuff, I want to change into like metallic instead of these plain gray. So I'll move it down to here, to the shiny metal section of the Pixpal palette texture. If you haven't used the Pixpal palette texture, I've got loads of videos that in my history before different game engines there, so check those out. All right, and this needs to be more like interesting now. First of all, this one I could do a little bit darker, maybe like that. And then I think it needs more lights and stuff too. And these got a little bit too skinny, I think, maybe these legs here. So maybe I'll do Alt select the length scale on the X-axis there. And then Control B to bevel that maybe. And then we'll do select the bottom, E to extrude, S to scale. And then some more detail, just anything, to be honest. So I should have actually done before I subdivided that one. I hate, you know, sometimes I subdivide or I bevel the edges there and I break myself from not being able to subdivide anymore. So Shift E to duplicate that on, E to extrude, and then we'll just do Shift E to duplicate that one again, E to extrude, Control B, and here, let's get like these things. And before I bevel, I'm going to Shift E to duplicate this one too, so I get a little bit more detail there. Grab those, Control B to bevel, and there we go. Here, let's put, let's imagine that they need something like some big fan systems now to power this thing up here somehow. I don't know if it's they don't really need aircon or anything, but let's put some fan systems here. So should I put it on the front here? Yeah, I think I'll do it. Shift E to duplicate this one, let's put them up here. And then scale on the X-axis, bring it into here, E to extrude, Control R to loop cut that one, I to inset again to get to individual, I to inset again, right click, subdivide, and we'll do two at the same time. Circle, and then period, individual origins, scale them down a little bit like this. And then I'm just going to do, actually I'll do Control plus first, E to extrude, Control minus, and then I to inset twice so we don't get individual anymore. Should we do out? I'll do out a little bit first, and then I to inset again, bring it in a little bit. And then I to inset, and then bring it all the way into here. And then now I to inset, and then just do some like fake fans in here. So scale that one down, grab these things, and then these things here. And then do E to extrude. And then we'll put like emission on these things too, as if it's like a big light shining from in these machines there. There we go, that should do. And then now we'll need to put details here. Shift E to duplicate this one, E to extrude, and as long as I got some surfaces that like light can bounce off and things, I think it'll be fine. Control B to bevel that one. Then we'll just do Shift E to duplicate that one, E to extrude, and Shift E to duplicate, and scale, maybe scale it down a bit again, and then just do E to extrude. That's it. More detail on this side too. Shift E to duplicate this thing, and then here maybe we'll bend it around the leg. So here, Control B. Okay, Control B, and then bevel it up pretty much to there. I should probably do more of those bevels, really. Maybe not there. There we go. And then here, should we put some, maybe up here, actually, I'll do some big hoses too. And I think I'm going to move all of these things out further. I think that could look cool. So let's move them out as if it's some sort of like a sensory shield system thing. I'll select the link there, bring that out too. And then here, grab those and E to extrude those. Not sure what this would be, but let's see. Scale it down, and then E to extrude that on. And then here, Shift E, oh no, that's actually already, oh yeah. So Control R, loop cut that on, E to extrude, S to scale on the X-axis, E to extrude, and then loop cut maybe, I don't know. And then E to extrude this. Just need more detail, that's all. And then here, I guess we'll bevel this. Control B, bevel, but not so many, just one. That's all right. Yeah, that's fine. And we don't see the lights up here, but I'm still gonna put some. So I to inset. No, that's no good. Just put here then. I to inset. And E to extrude long face normals, and then just put some like blue emission up here again. There we go. And I think I'm gonna put more emission here too. We need some more detail. think. And here maybe we need, as if it's, I'm gonna put a big hose here, and I'm gonna like twist it around a little bit as if it needs to, I don't know, charge something. So I'm gonna do Shift, I said, should we put it in here? Yeah, I to inset, E to extrude, and then just put it, make it darker here on the Pixpal palette texture to there. And actually, I think we need even more lights still, so I'm gonna put it on emission still. We can tone it down if it's too light. And then now I'm gonna do Shift E to duplicate that one, right click, subdivide, circle. This is my shortcut to make the pipes. Bring it up to here. X, because I want to do limited dissolve. You don't really see why, but just wanted to get rid of those interior lines. And now I'm going to just bring these down, and these don't need to be lit, so I'm going to press L and then just go down again and put some darker, like these dark pipes here. And again, I don't know what this would be, but E to extrude. Symmetry looks usually pretty good if it's got some stuff going, so this could be like some sort of a reactor thing. Maybe it's harvesting stuff from the ground. Rotate Z. Doesn't really matter much. And then E to extrude, rotate Z. And then, where am I? There we go. E to extrude, rotate, and then E to extrude, rotate. E to extrude, rotate. And here I guess I'll do, I didn't actually time this thing now, so I don't know how much extra time I've spent, but I guess we can see that later on. If you're sitting here with gray hair now, then we know I spent too long on it. So Shift E to duplicate it, comma, go to normal, scale on the y-axis, bring it in a bit, and E to extrude. And I think I'm gonna just do it like this. Yeah, that's fine. Grab these two, Control B to bevel, Control R, and then here, more lights. And I to inset, Alt E, extrude long face normals. And okay, I need to fix that pipe a little bit. Or I can scale this whole thing up maybe. We need more lights, I think. That's the thing. L select the link to scale this thing up. And comma, we need back to global and bring it down to there. And that's it. All right, so that's like a few more details up here. Don't know, this one should probably not be flat shaded, so right click and do shade smooth on this. So those hoses are like that instead. And I think they need a little bit more detail, or maybe they don't. Here we could do with some more detail though. So this face, E to extrude, S to scale. And then I'm just gonna put some paneling on now, I think. And this is looking too bland. So what should we do here? We'll do Shift E to duplicate this one, move it into here, and then E to extrude. Can we do this? Like, it's a bit controversial, I guess, to overlap the polys, but that's all right. We don't care. That's fine. And these legs still look down here. They look too boring. So L select the link here, maybe more shiny stuff there, and then these feet. I don't know if the feet, like, they still feel a bit too small, I guess, for what they're supposed to be doing. Maybe these need to come out. Alt E to extrude long face normals. Grab these, bring them down. This is probably a stupid thing to do, but let's do it anyway. And here, should we do recolor that on? Just some different hue shifts on these. There we go. And maybe we need something under here too. Some panels, always good for sci-fi. So grab these, I to inset, Alt S to extrude long face normals. Grab these two, I to inset, Alt S to extrude long face normals. They're like some armor plates down here. I to inset, Alt S to extrude long face normals. I to inset, Alt S to extrude, and then same here. We can do a bit of different pattern here. I to inset, Alt S to extrude. I to inset, Alt S to extrude, and down here, I to inset, Alt S to extrude, and then on that one's all right, I think. And here we'll do more panels here, I guess. So, but here I cannot subdivide because I've done my bevel. So that's a bit stupid. I to inset, Alt S to extrude, and here we'll do this whole thing. I to inset, Alt S to extrude, and here Shift E to duplicate this thing, E to extrude, and GG to slide this one up. Just need more detail. And then here, should we do? I'll do. Okay, so that's all right. It still too plain here. These like sharp edges here. So what can we do to modify this? Maybe we'll do, okay, Shift D to duplicate this one, scale it up, and then we'll put like some sort of another repetition thing going here. I'm gonna bring it into here, and then we'll bevel these two, Control B, and then it's like some sort of nearly like a cooling thing. Shift D to duplicate. There we go. Repetition usually looks cool, so. Okay, maybe not that many. So maybe one below instead. Shift D to duplicate. Yeah, that'll be fine. Change them to a different color slightly. A bit darker. There we go. At least, yeah, it makes it a little bit more interesting. These fans things are a bit small, but never mind. And still to plane here. So maybe we'll just inset these to save some, these are not solid anymore. So I to inset, scale on the y-axis, and then Alt-E, extrude along face normals, bring it into, okay, why am I've got an extra face here somehow. Alt select the linked, okay, I've duplicated this whole thing. Delete, I do that sometimes, so by mistake. I to inset, and then scale on the y-axis, and then Alt-E, extrude along face normals, and we'll just bring it into there. That brings a little bit more interesting detail, and then we'll make that one a bit darker. So we're starting to get a little bit more detail on this thing now, which I like. And this we can probably make a different color too. Alt select the link there, and then bring it. Should we make it brighter? Yeah, could be good. Maybe we should have some more brighter sections on this thing. Maybe these things need to be a bit brighter up here. Alt select the linked. Maybe these panels there. Those could be a bit whiter. That makes it a bit. Should I do maybe cargo containers or something? I think that could be interesting. And okay, these lines are too sharp. I'm like mixing back and forth. Control S to save this first of all, so I don't mess it up. Control B to bevel. Okay, that was a bit weird. Oh, it's because I've got a thing there. Let's bring this in. There we go. I to inset, Alt-E to extrude long face normals, bring it down to the darker. How are we doing for lights down here? I think we don't have enough lights here. This is a good place for a light. On this part of the leg here. There we go. I to inset, Alt-E, extrude long face normals. Perfect. And bring it up to the emission surface here. Actually, this is a good point probably to enable emission here now, because we don't really see it. So drop down always. Then I need to go into compositing. Z, material preview. We don't see it here either because I need to do some nodes here. Right click, add, input, scene, render layers, and then right click and okay, Shift A, output, composite, and then let's connect these two. So we're back to where we started, but now we'll add the glare node. And we'll change streaks to bloom. This is new actually for Blender 4.4 because they took away this single checkbox to enable bloom, and then they put it in compositing. You still have to jump through a lot of hoops, but at least they've improved the glare node a little bit, so you got a little bit more traditional control over your glare. So this is a bit too bloomy now, so I'm going to bring down just the size, I think. But you got a little bit more control of the size of the glare now and stuff, so that's good at least. Go back here. So this is our. And I think I need to make these bigger. They're too small, whatever, like these things were. So I think I'm gonna do comma or period, medium point, scale these things up. We still don't really know what these are for, but that's all right. And I think these need hoses too, just to, here's a good thing to put some extra details here, I think. And these are protruding a little bit, so need to extrude that one. Scale it down, and are we okay on that side? Yeah. So here, Shift E to duplicate. Let's do some manual hoses too. Subdivide, circle, scale it down. X, we don't want to get like limited dissolve, get rid of those interiors there. Scale it down, and G to move it. E to extrude, R to rotate. E to extrude, R to rotate, and then we'll just bring it up into something here. E to extrude, R to rotate. E to extrude, R to rotate. And this is going to be exciting to see now, like the difference that this will make inside of the Unreal Engine. I think the extra details now will make a big difference actually. And E to extrude. So 10-minute modeling challenge with a bit of a twist. Not that I've ever done that before. E to extrude, R to rotate, E to extrude, and there we go. Here we go, that's it. Should we do, I think I'll do double hoses. So Alt S to scale those along their own normals, and then bring it to here. And then Shift E to duplicate it, R to rotate, I think, and then O for proportional. And then just twist these a little bit, if I can. There we go. Bring it up to here, and then rotate. There we go. And then here I need to bring something down to connect these things for. So we'll do, actually I should probably bring them back to here. So G to move it back a bit. Okay, rotate first. And G to move. There we go. And then control. Let's do one at a time, I guess. Oh, proportional off again. This is a stupid way. I should have probably done, like, there's better ways to do hoses, but when you don't need to do many of them, or you just need little sections like this, usually it's not worth for me to create splines and do all that fancy stuff. Usually it's quick enough just to do these manual ones. But now it's just on the verge a little bit where it could have probably paid off to do them using splines. A little bit more detail than I usually do. So Alt select the linked, right click, shade smooth, and then here we'll just twist these up again, rotate. It's good, they're actually coming in roughly in the same place here, so it sort of makes sense somehow. Now we just need to do on this thing, whatever that is. There we go, Shift. Let's see, which one should we grab? That one will do. Shift D to duplicate. Oh, these are light panels suddenly. So we'll bring them back down color-wise into metal, something here, dark gray. And then scale on the X-axis. And then we need these hoses need to go in somewhere. And it doesn't have to be perfect. And then E to extrude. Alt select linked. Okay, how should we do? We'll do it. That's all right, but this is fine. E to extrude. And then move it in. That's fine. And then here we'll just do, okay, Alt select the link, move it into there. Move it out. And I to inset. And Alt E to extrude long face normals. And then just go even darker there. That's fine. So we got, okay, these should not be metal. Just do like a darker. That's gonna be fine. So we've got more cables there now. And what else should we do? Maybe some piston rods. Oh yeah, I was supposed to do some cargo container things. And I think these AC units or whatever these are, these need to be a different color too. Should they be brighter or darker? Darker they should be, because that looks kind of cool. Too dark. There we go. Too dark. Just a shade darker. That's it. And we've got some lights there, that's fine. These need to be more solid metal, I guess. These could be really shiny, I guess. It's fine. Doesn't show much anyway. All right, but this is starting to look a little bit more detailed and interesting now. From the top, it looks kind of cool. I don't know if I can fit any cargo containers. Maybe we can do something smaller. So I'm gonna try to Shift D to duplicate that one, scale on the X-axis, scale on the Y-axis. Not sure if I'm going to keep these. It might look stupid if they're all symmetrical. So we shall figure out. But let's see, Control R. Let's do some like a sci-fi container thing. So Alt select the linked, I to inset again, individual. Maybe like that. Alt E to extrude long face normals. That's it. And make these a little bit darker too. That's it. And then we'll do, maybe we'll bevel all the edges. Don't know if there's a better way to select all of these edges, but let's do it manually. There we go. There, there. And I'm holding Alt and Shift, but it's not ring selecting because we've got some interruptions here. So just manually select these. I think that's all of them that I need. Yeah. And then Control B to bevel. And that's fine. Yeah, that's good. And maybe we'll do some Like it looks stupid when they're all, maybe I'll need to separate these and do them a little bit more. I'll do P to separate that one. Take away this modifier. Okay, not on that one, on this one. There we go. And then I think I'll just do that it's like on some of them, not all of them. So I'll do Shift D to duplicate, rotate, and Shift D to duplicate, rotate Z. They can like be like this or something. Stacked. That looks stupid. But that's all right. Let's keep it anyway for now. Maybe they're too big. I think that's what it is actually. Just get rid of them. There. Scale them down. Right click. I'll do set origin to geometry, or yeah, to geometry. No, right click, set origin to surface. Scale it down. Get down to there. That's it. Shift D to duplicate that on. And then Shift D to duplicate it again. And rotate Z. Maybe here. Yeah. Shift D to duplicate that on. Move it here. Rotate Z. And then Shift D to duplicate it again. Rotate Z. And I don't know if this makes any sense. But they'd probably stack a little bit better, wouldn't they? This is probably the most stupid idea I've done so far. Like everything else is like symmetry perfect, and then these things are just like a little bit randomized, but never mind. Let's keep them there anyway. Let's see what it looks like when I bring it in. All right, so we've got a few things. Maybe, is this enough now, maybe? So here feels a little bit bland. So let's do this thing. Where am I? There we go. I to inset, and then E to extrude long face normals, S to scale. Okay, a little bit more. I to inset again, E to extrude, S to scale, bit darker. Or should we put more lights here? That's what we should do. That's it. No, because it's not symmetrical. The lights have to be symmetrical all the time. Otherwise, it's just wrong. There we go. Control B. And this one, E to extrude. Control B. Just need some more surface polygons. I think that's it. Here, Shift E to duplicate this. E to extrude. E to extrude. S to scale. X-axis. Get a nice shine on that one. I think this is going to be it now. Let's bring this one in and see the difference. Is there anything else? Any last requests? This is a premiere, not a stream, so I'm not able to take requests actually, but it would have been fun. E to extrude, S to scale on that axis, and maybe a panel here. E to extrude, S to scale. I to inset, Alt S to scale. More detail. We like detail. Control R, loop cut this thing. Let's do I to inset, Alt S to scale. I to inset, Alt S to scale. That's fine. That looks stupid. That's it. Just keep it for now. I'll just do one thing here. I to inset, Alt S or Alt E, extrude long face normals. And then let's do that darker instead. Should we put some antennas? Maybe that's what it needs to. So maybe on this one, do we do one like central antenna? E to extrude, S to scale. But then like nothing can land here in the center unless they like land around this thing. Okay, we'll put one antenna. Okay, Alt S to scale it down. There we go. And then E to extrude, S to scale, E to extrude, E to extrude, S to scale, E to extrude, S to scale, and E to extrude, S to scale. And here I'm going to put a red light up here. Alt E, extrude long face normals, and then here, let's do it like an emission red. There we go. Slight white to it, because if I do solid red, it cannot bloom up to like really be lit like that. So that's fine. Control R, I to inset, Alt S to scale, and then L to select the link. And should we put it on the side? I guess makes sense to have it like onto the side like this. Now Control R, Control R, Control R, Alt S, darker. G. That's it. And then here, E to extrude, S to scale. All right, that's just details now. I think that's it. So I'm gonna take all of these now, and we'll do Shift. Okay, all of these ones I'll do Shift E to duplicate them. Control I, and then hide everything else. Right click on the, okay, we need to apply all of these. Control A on this modifier, and then Control A on this one. Mark everything, Control J. That's our new one. And then we'll just copy this name, F2, and then SCI-FI platform. And then now we'll export this one. And I'll just overwrite the other one. So export FBX, SCI-FI platform, everything's the same, selected. And now let's go back into Unreal Engine and re-import this thing. So this was the way it looked before. And then after the tinkering time now, which is breaking the 10-minute modeling challenge illusion here, but it's we like to break illusions here. And there we go. That's and we can scale this one up now even more, I think. Should we scale it? There we go. Boom. And I'm gonna run around a little bit now in here now to see what it looks like. So let's see. Yeah, that's fine. Ideally, like these should not be flying. So let's just put it down again like that. Whoa. Let's have a look. Yeah, do you know what? I'm gonna actually press F11 and then let's run to it now. That's it. I'm gonna press play then. How about this? F11, and then we'll see, is it in this direction? This is just like a test scene that I've got going. So these trees have got no snow on them. See if I can find, I'm just realizing that I need to change this character a little bit because it looks like he's got a nappy on. That needs to be fixed. Ah, okay, footprints, nice. Let's see, I think it's over here that I put it. Oh, we've got too many non-nano meshes. What's that? Probably my, can I get through here? See, I should have probably changed my spawn point instead. Can I even get through here? There's a test scene that I made. I don't know if this is going to be too steep. Nope, I got up. Looks a bit funky though. He's like flipping up and down. Can we see the big sci-fi landing platform now? Let's have a look. There's a mountain. More trees. Oh, there we go. Ta-da! No. Ta-da! No. It looks good from a distance, I think. Big antenna up there. Imagine a big spaceship docking on that thing. Let's see how close we can get to it. Alright, luckily enough there's no fall damage here. I could do with some improvement. It's got a headlight too. Snowing. There we go. I should put some dramatic music now. Let's put some dramatic music on this. This is like a Souls-like now. Da-na-na-na, a sci-fi one. Imagine like a big, massive Reaper spaceship now landing here. I should put that in too, actually. Woo. Okay, I'll fast forward. Let's go. But if you had a bunch of these assets, like different sci-fi towers, skyscraper type of things, whatever else could go in nature like this, imagine like a big, massive spaceship. Like I have to avoid running right behind this thing now. It looks like time to change that thing. Have a look. I think this map is 4 kilometers long. He's going to be out of breath by the time he gets there. See, so look at it. Good thing it's not me running it. So I think like Unreal Engine does a good job with the emission anyway. Like this is just the Infantia Pixpal palette texture right out of there. So it's doing a pretty nice job, like blooming it up, I think. It's amazing what you can get away with not doing any texture mapping though. Luckily enough, it's like the lighting and the atmosphere of this thing makes it come to life a little bit. So now I think it's still alright polygon wise, but I think this is about the limit now. The closer we get now, I think the polygon surfaces will be a little bit too big. Still works at the top up there. Let's have a look. I hope I don't get stuck here now somewhere because I haven't tested this landscape at all. There we go. I don't know, like there's hardly any polygons on that things either, so but the trees are a bit heavy, I guess. Oh, I think I've got inverted polygons on this thing. They're behaving weird. Those bolt things. Are they? I think so. They feel like they're behaving super strange, actually. Or maybe it's just because they don't have many additional. Alright, so now I think it would need more detail down here at the legs. Now it sort of comes through that it doesn't have too many polygons there, because these are pretty big now. The polygons are like... You should really have the same polygon density as the character or something, because these are a little bit... I mean, it still works. And up there works. Alright, let's press escape and then fly around a little bit. I don't know why I didn't do that a bit more, but... Bloom works. Let's stand at the top of it and see what that looks like. Well, it's not gonna look stupid because there's nothing to look at. Okay. Let's try a different time of day too. F11. Let's go nighttime. We've got a lot of moonlight. Yeah, that works too. Big sci-fi tower. All right, let's try without snow too, shall we? And a thunderstorm maybe. So I'll do, for that I need to do a few changes here. We need to, that can still stay, but the tree here, pine tree, I'll switch this one to a not that one, just a pine tree. This one. Is there an apply button here somewhere? Nope. Okay, they've changed. And now I'll change the weather, and then we'll put just like rain. And I need to select something here. There we go. So that still works. Landscape needs a bit of work, but yeah, I like that. That works. Doesn't have to be snow. I still need to add a lot of stuff to the landscape. This is just like a testing that I've done. So let's try one more thing. Should we do a storm as well? We'll do a thunderstorm. Weather, rain, thunderstorm, and we need some clouds then. Cloud coverage. And then I think I need to switch on so the trees sway a little bit, because I've got nanite offset. This will look a bit stupid. Suddenly these will just jump to life. So maybe I can just change this so the world position offset here is, or let's just leave it like that, I guess. Should we run here with the character too? I can move my player start to over here so I don't have to run the whole way. That's quite a distance I had to run before. Let's put him here. Play. Okay, that was a bit too close. Let's put him on here on this platform. Play. Woo! Am I under the ground? No. There we go. F11. Still a very green grass there. Got a good headlight. Get a thunder clock there. There we go. Screenshot. Thumbnail. Should we do a thumbnail with lightning maybe? Right, so that's going to be it for this video. I hope you enjoyed this one. It was a lot of fun to make. So in 10 minutes, we could make basically the rough model. This is what we end up with after 10 minutes. That's not very impressive. But at least it acted like a good, like a box out thing or a prototype of what I wanted to put in there. So after about another 30 minutes of tinkering, is it 30, 40, 20? I don't know. Then we ended up adding a little bit more detail so we can have it to the point where it's like from a distance, it looks pretty good in the silhouette and in the timeline. I noticed that I've been editing too many videos. I think it could do with a little bit more detail at the bottom if you need to get up close to it. But I think for a big spaceship to come and dock with this thing and like in the distance, it'll work. We always like things that look good from a distance. In the background, maybe I could put something like this in the backgrounds later on. If I do it like Unfair Rampage, for example, he's gone back in time. Maybe at some point he'll go into the future. So I could put something like this in the background, maybe of that platform. That'd be kind of cool. All right, so if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and come back for another video shortly again, and we'll have some more fun. Until next time, have a great one, and I'll see you then. Bye for now.